Yeah, Beth Stack, B-A-L, and I played in the Stickmen. Okay, first started out, was Pete Baker and myself. Pete's dead now, unfortunately. And he was in a band called The Undertakers in Love, which was more like an arty type band. We basically played like art galleries and stuff like that. And then from there, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we formed Blue Beth and the Gentleman Caller. And then after that, we played two guitars plugged into one amplifier, so it's kind of like...
What year are we talking?
We're talking 78. Okay, or probably maybe 77.
Is there any, would you say, besides Pure Hell, was there any other particular bands kind of rolling, or was it just kind of coming together?
Everything was just coming together. The scene was just developing. The stuff in England was happening, and it was coming over, slowly. But then before you knew it, like all these bands started popping up. When we played, the first version of our band was a lot different than it ended up to be. It was more like a funk band at the end. In the beginning, it was more like, I'd probably classified as like an art school kind of a thing. And we would play, and it was so weird that it was like we were playing to a wall of plexiglass. Like people were just standing there, and like they had no reaction. They didn't know how to take it. It was just like something they had never witnessed before, and it was like coming right out of the 70s, which was, like Led Zeppelin and crap like that, so weird.
Fast forward, Crody and the Ruin guy said you guys broke up on stage?
Yeah, playing with Ruin. And my other band, The Heathens, which was more of a hardcore thing.
You want to give us a lowdown on that?
I'd rather not.
Okay.
It was, it was a pretty bad scene. It was like throwing a beer at somebody, that person ducks, and the person behind it gets hit in the head with a beer. So it was a Ruin gig in Baltimore.
Did you guys ever reunite in any way, or was that the final?
That was it.
What year was that?
84, probably.
All right.
I think the highlight was like 82, 83 of when we had the band really formed. David Carroll. And David Carroll had Artemis and the Hot Club. And he was really supportive of, starting up this whole scene. And he had all different kinds of bands, It didn't matter if you were a hardcore band or like they had everybody playing like a Hot Club, which I'm sure you heard. But we were pretty much the house band, like opening for everybody. And from there, it went pretty much to like the East Side Club and the Kennel Club after that. And then there was Phillies down in Second and Chestnut. Then there was the CEC Center later, and the Elks Club. I'm sure you heard of that. The place got trashed, bathrooms overflowing, and sinks ripped out, beers being thrown at us when we're playing and stuff. It was pretty. Chuck, I love Chuck. Yeah, he's been around forever. He was a big part of the hardcore scene. Huge, huge, huge. I would credit him with getting a lot of bands together, a lot of bands to play together, a lot of bands mix match together, you know what I mean? Like the dynamics, but they were very dynamic bands playing together, although they weren't the same genre. That was really cool.
Were you at either the SOA or the Dead Kennedys riot?
I was at the Starlight Ballroom. Yeah, Dead Kennedys, I was there.
Did you elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh, God, it was horrible. It was really scary. It was really weird because I had another band going at the same time called The Heathens, where it was more like a hardcore thing compared to the Stickmen. And we had a press package all together to give to Jello. And me and Sky Kishlow, who was the drummer in The Heathens, we finally got to Jello, gave him the press package, and we're like, yeah, we're going to be in an alternative tentacles label and all this crap. And the riot happened. And we never heard from him, so I assumed that the press kit got launched in the wind, and it was a pretty violent affair. There was cops, it was a mess. It was really scary.
Did you get caught in the crossfire at all?
No.
Okay.
I left very quickly. Well, when we started, it was more like in the art galleries we played, so it was like not so much deliberately going into a band. Pete and I were boyfriend and girlfriend, and he was art school graduate. He went to Columbus School of Art and Design in Ohio, And so he just wanted, we started, nights we spent drinking, he'd play guitar and we'd just be like, singing and stuff. Just one thing rolled into the end,
Ruin.
I love Ruin. They were the best band. They had, putting the Stickmen and Ruin together was genius because the dynamic of both of the bands were so powerful and so unique and so different. And it was a show to see, Ruin. It got passed over a lot. Yeah, definitely. I guess it did in a sense, but I think, if somebody was really open-minded, then they would, like the stuff that was coming out of Philly. Just take Philly for Philly, like, I don't think it was necessary to have a particular sound where everybody sounds the same, and I think that's what made it great to be in Philly. As I said, like, we were like a funk band, more or less, like a crazy funk band, like playing black funk before like the Chili Peppers and black band. So, and then we would be teamed up with like a band like the Seeds of Terror, who are my favorite Philly local hardcore band. But so like things like that. And it would be two different bands, both dynamic, and they would be set up to play. So it was cool that Philadelphia was like that. I think it's a good thing to even recognize. I didn't even realize that.
WKDU, were you from?
XPN more than KDU. We played live at XPN and KDU, but more at XPN. We had more contacts there. They would bring in the crap and we would play on the air. Michelle Polizzi, he had a big part in as far as the radio airplay went. And we would bring the equipment into the studio and just play. Usually they would just play records, so that was cool.
Did you guys play at Wide-Eye at all?
I can't remember. I might have. I don't know.
FOD?
I love Jimmy, yes, and Dave, yes. FOD just played a while ago for, I was diagnosed with cancer. They played a benefit for me. So it was really, they played the show. It was very touching. Them and Bunny Drums, and who were part of the scene back then. And they were not your hardcore band, but they were one of the beginners.
How about thoughts on McRad?
McRad, and that whole, when I hear McRad, I love McRad. McRad was on the This Is Philadelphia, the hardcore compilation record, as is my other hardcore band, the Heathens, which went absolutely nowhere. The only reason we played was because the Heathens could use the Stickmen's equipment. We played on the same gigs.
Were you at that Camden show where Ian Mackay from Minor Threat was hit by a car?
No.
Okay.
No. Oh, I wish I was. I saw Minor Threat many times. They were great.